All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Note Night in America. Glad to have you all here. It is hard to believe January 24th already. Hard to believe that we are in the final week of the first month of 2022. Where has it flown? Lots of great stuff for you this month. Got a lot of great stuff to cover tonight. You are going to want to grab a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or something sharp and jab it in your hand to take some notes tonight because we've got some great stuff. Wow, my cat on cue there. Anyway, glad to have you all here joining us on Monday night. What a great weekend we had at our Saturday class at Note Weekend. We do have an upcoming class we'll talk about in a second here. But first and foremost, you guys, if you are joining us for the first time on Note Night in America, welcome. This is the 12th year in a row that we've been hosting Monday night webinars. And you can catch all the replays to all of them so far. But if you just go to our YouTube channel at weclosenotes.tv while you're there, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're alerted of all the amazing content, the videos that we put up on there. Join the over, 5,600 subscribers to the channel. And I guess you'd say the most active, honestly, YouTube channel for note investors out there. But anyway, welcome to Note Night. Like I said, it's not the 11th year, it's actually the 12th year. We also have taken the last 100 episodes and turned them into a podcast. So you can catch those and listen to those anywhere that you listen to podcasts. Make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're there. Like I said, all the videos are on YouTube, and you can watch all of our podcast episodes and Monday night webinars and good stuff by going to weclosenotes.tv and hit the subscribe button there. Also, like I said, the Note Night in America podcast is on all of the podcasting platforms, along with our other two rock and rolling podcasts, the 50 megawatt blowtorch, the Note Closer Show with over 1 million downloads, and of course, our Note Camp Live podcast is also live out there and rock and rolling as well. And just a bit of a thing. There's weekly episodes being downloaded or uploaded to Note Camp 20 leading up to our mid-year Note Camp convention. So we're pretty excited about that. Just lots of great stuff going on in the industry. Guys and gals, though, it's time to really refresh your knowledge. The markets have changed over the last year, 2 years, definitely. And I think you'll learn a lot of good stuff tonight. But this Friday, Saturday, Sunday is our next 3-day virtual note buying workshop. We'll teach you how to find, fund, and flip those non-performing notes and how to find performing notes, both on the residential commercial side there for you, and show you how to take advantage of the amazing market. Lots of distressed stuff out there. You just got to know where to search. And that's part of what tonight's webinar is all about there for you. But Friday is all about finding deals. Saturday is all about the funding, how to raise private capital, how to find investors, how to market it. Sunday's up about the flipping, the exit strategies. We'll actually have a live tape that we'll be breaking down for you guys to jump into on residential notes. The ticket price includes you plus a guest. It also includes replays to last workshop, so you can start watching that stuff now. 300 plus or 200 plus page manual. We're also doing something fun. We don't do this every workshop, but after this workshop, the next 4 weeks after this week, we will be doing 4 weeks of coaching calls with those that are going through the class as a 4-week implementation plan for you. So to helping you take what you learn at the class this weekend and apply it to your business and help you start finding deals, help you start funding deals, raising capital, and going out and making more money in the new year. And if you go to pretty simple notebuyingfordummies.com, you actually don't need the code. We do have the code on there automatically to adjust the 50% off discount. Now that 50% discount good through Tuesday. After that, it drops to 40. Thursday, it drops to 30. Friday, it drops just to a 20% discount. So take advantage, grab a great seat to it and start learning today and be ready to rock and roll and take advantage of what you're going to learn, not only tonight, but over the next few weeks, and really, take your business and real estate to a whole new level. And if you don't think banks are selling or aren't looking to move, trust me, they are. We're getting more requests on what we're buying, what are we looking to take down. And it's been kind of an interesting couple of weeks here. But anyway, guys, we are glad to have you here for the special Note Night in America. And you guys know that if I bring somebody on as a special guest, they've got something magical to offer you. And this is saying that very much so tonight. We've got amazing couple guys on here. I think you're probably hearing from one of the special guests on here. He's got over 15 years of experience in CMBS. That stands for commercial mortgage-backed securities. And the CRE stands for commercial real estate there for you. Previous director at Kroll Bond Ratings, and he's a previous AVP at Morningstar in Real Point. He is a graduate of Villanova University. Go Wildcats. We won't hold it against him that he is a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Fly birds fly. But he's a co-founder of Cred IQ, and so we're honored to have our buddy Mike Haas joining us here tonight on Note Night in America. So let me get him on here. I muted him and quieted him a little bit here. I know we got a few folks over there at Cred IQ joining us as well. So ask to unmute there. Let's see that. And then more, ask you to start your video there. And then I think you're going to have Shane on here too. Am I right, Mike?
That's right. Thanks a lot, Scott. Appreciate that introduction.
Hey, man, glad to have you here, man. We're both licking our NFL wounds these the last 2 weeks and stuff, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Don't ever say that Eagles fans and Cowboys fans can't get along.
Yep, exactly. Well, this is more exciting than last night's games. We're pumped up.
Yeah, exactly. So glad to have Mike. Shane, you're on here too, buddy. I completely missed on you. If you want to share a little about your background too, Shane, before I let you guys pull up your slides and run with it.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Scott. Shane Beeson, head of sales here at Cred IQ. Been on board for about 18 months now, and don't need to get into my background. I just can't wait to talk to your audience about what we have going on here at Cred IQ and how we can help them.
Yeah, when you guys reached out to me a couple months back, I was so blown away with what you guys are doing, and I'm not going to take any of the thunder. What I'll do is I'll just let it. You want to wait and take questions at the very end, or do you want to do it as you roll through this, guys?
Yeah, we could take live fire questions. We're happy to stop and answer anything that comes through.
All right,
no
cool.
problem.
Awesome. Well, I'll take my camera off. If you want to put it in presentation mode so it gets the full screen for everybody watching, that'll be great too.
All right.
Awesome. Again, thank you, Scott, for inviting us tonight. Mike and I are thrilled to be here. As Scott said, I'm joined by my partner, Mike Haas, one of our co-founders. We're also, I believe, going to be joined by Mark McDevitt, who is our Senior Managing Director of our Operating Advisor and Valuation Division. And on behalf of our other partners, Bill Peterson, who's one of our co-founders, and Ryan Garrett, our Chief Tech Officer, thank you for the opportunity to present tonight all we have going on at Cred IQ. So our agenda tonight, let's get to it. Real simple, finding distressed commercial real estate opportunities in every single markets across the country. That's our bread and butter. We're offering our clients true ownership and lender contact info. That's going to be names, addresses, up to 2 emails, and up to 4 phone numbers for owners and lenders on all the properties. Value add and off-market deals. Real-time valuations, that's a huge component of what we offer. And Mike is going to get into that here in a few minutes. That's kind of his and Bill's bread and butter going back literally decades. And that's, like I said, a big part of how we bring value to our clients. And we're also going to touch on the top 15 hottest markets for investors. Our mission statement, real simple. We're looking to be the most trusted and accurate fintech platform where CRE, finance, and tech kind of comes together to really provide unbiased, transparent, and customizable data, analytics, and valuations in real time. That's who we are, and that's what we do. Next, Mike. These are some of the publications that we've been lucky enough to be quoted in over the past couple of years: the Wall Street Journal, the Philly Business Journal, Philly Inquirer. Commercial Mortgage Alert is a huge publication in our industry, and we've been honored to be included in a lot of their coverage every Friday that comes out as well. Next, we've got kind of what we do, who we are and what we do. We are a commercial real estate data, valuations, and analytics company, and we allow our clients to access loan, property, financial, tenant, ownership, and valuation data for hundreds of thousands of commercial real estate properties in every single major market across the U.S., including secondary and tertiary markets as well. The valuation piece on the right, like I said, it's very important to what we do. That's going to be what Mike's going to show you: interactive discounted cash flow valuation software with pre-filled assumptions from our proprietary comp technology. So that's the short version of what we do. And then how we do it. This is kind of an overview of our current operation as we stand today. So we're going to take all this unstructured data at the top. That's going to be CMBS, CRE, CLO data, the agency, the Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie data, combined with public data, paid data, and market data. We're going to put that through our technology, and that's going to turn it into actionable deliverables for our clients: property, maps, data on loans and financials, top 5 tenants with lease expiration dates. We talked about the true ownership data that's important. Comps, a big component of our offering. And we deliver that all to folks like originators, brokers, investment sales folks, and a big chunk of our client base, distressed debt investors, which of course is why we're here tonight. So this slide is kind of Cred IQ, if you will, in a nutshell. So this is it. This is what Mike's going to show you here in a minute. Over 150,000 commercial real estate properties with loan, property, tenant financials, valuation, and borrower contact info. We're tracking a little over 2 trillion, about 2.2 trillion in CRE loans. Every property type, the top 6 in our world are going to be office, retail, multifamily, industrial, hotel, and self-storage. It's going to be every market across the country, updated every single month. So with that, I am going to cede the controls to my partner, Mike Haas, who's going to really, walk everybody through how our clients get value out of our database, generating searches based off of property type, property size, loan status, and getting down to the asset level and seeing the important property level details that we've talked about. So with that, I will turn the reins over to you, Mike. Take it away.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shane. As you start, you log into Cred IQ, and this is the screen you come up to. And what you do is basically, if you have something in mind, you can quickly search it in here. This is just a broad keyword search. And if you just really need to browse, you can hit that. And that'll just take you to our general search items where we have about 10 key things that you can filter for. Up here's the keywords. That's it, property name, address, city. Then you have the location search. That's zip, city, county, state, whatever you want to hone in on. And then building size, you can narrow it down by minimum, maximum size of square footage for office, retail, industrial, mixed use. And then for multifamily and hotels and manufactured housing, you could narrow it down by units or keys, whatever you're looking for. Here are the property types that our platform can handle. And as you get into the property level details, you'll see the subtypes as well. We have office, retail, multifamily, industrial, hotel, self-storage, mixed use, manufactured housing, cooperative housing, healthcare, and some land and some other niche property types like parking, smaller ones like that. You could search by original balance, the min max there, and current balance for any loans that are amortizing. And then this is a great way for people to look for off-market deals. We have loan information on their maturity dates. So a lot of these commercial loans have a 5, 7, or 10-year balloon where when that maturity date approaches, the borrower will either need to refi or sell the property. That's really a key data point that a lot of our clients like to search for and hone in on. We also have information on the top 5 tenants behind the office, retail, industrial, and mixed use properties. And then this filter is very important for distressed debt investors. Because all of our data is updated monthly, we get information in real time whether a loan's about to become delinquent or actually is delinquent. And then even worse, if it gets sent to the special servicer because there's major issues, and then it'll lead to foreclosure, and then REO is the last case. So if we just run through an example here, let's look at Texas for our home crowd here on note night. If we want to look at, let's do multifamily, building size, let's keep it, let's do 10 units to, let's say 60. Hit apply here. That narrowed it down to about 1,100 properties. You can sort it down on the map. Let's do an original balance between 1.5 million to 30 million. Hit apply. All right, that filtered it down. Each page has about 100 results on it. So now we're looking at 700 properties, all in Texas. And if we want to just focus in on the distressed properties. So if you guys aren't familiar, if a loan gets added to the watch list right here, that means there's something wrong with the property and it's now triggered the servicer's watch list. It's been added to the servicer's watch list so the servicer can keep an eye on the property, understand what's going on, maybe work it out before it becomes delinquent. So if we if we just keep everything clicked here, all of distressed, watch list, especially service, 30, 60, 90 foreclosure, REO, hit apply. That brings us down to about 100 properties that fit this criteria within Texas and this loan size. You can sort, you can filter in on the map. You can do a quick little hover. This little bar up here is our list view, where you can see a lot more information all the way across the right here. You have the address, size, property type, subtype, year built, MSA, submarket, loan name, original balance, current balance. Here's the status, who the originator was, maturity date. So if we just click into one of these, let it load up. All right, so this is an example of a property I just clicked in. Bennett Monarch Lofts. This one is at 1910 Bennett Avenue in Dallas, Texas. This one had an original balance of 2.45 million. It was originated about 2 years ago, December 2019. The issuance LTV was 69%, originated by Sable. Now the current balance is at 2.367 million. It is current. It's a 26 unit multifamily. Here's the MSA submarkets in Central Expressway outside Dallas. It appraised at issuance for 3.55 million or 136,000 a unit at a 4.71 cap rate. Here's some more loan terms. Interest rate 3.9%. IO expiration date, maturity date, it matures in 2040. And then moving across here, there's more information on each tab. The loan tab, even more information on the loan, amortization type, loan term, who the master servicer is. This is a Freddie Mac loan. And here, who the special servicer is. I'll get into the contact information in a little bit. This prepayment terms, this is very important for information on how the borrower can prepay this loan. A lot of these commercial loans have lockout periods where they're not able to freely prepay. So it's very valuable to understand this information. And then we have information on whether or not it's distressed and what's going on with the loan status. For this example, it is distressed. It's been added to the servicer's watch list because it has a low DSCR. It has a low debt service coverage ratio, and it's been on the servicer's watch list for about a year now. And it hasn't quite transferred to the special. And here's the payment history. So we track all that, update it monthly. And here's some juicy information straight from the servicer about the property's performance and why it was added to the watch list. So this one, just quickly skimming it, looks like occupancy is strong at 100%, but it was pretty low at 73% a year before. Effective gross income has declined by 9%. That's probably the reason for the DSCR. Moving on, clicking into the property tab. Here's the valuation. So this was appraised for 3.55 million. As I mentioned before, here's a map, interactive map. You can drop the little yellow guy. Check out the property. And then we also have a partnership with Waterstone Defeasance. And this is the real-time defeasance calculator, which gives you an idea what it will cost the borrower to prepay their loan if they wanted to refi or sell with an interactive date picker. Everything gets updated from our partnership with Waterstone. I'll get into the valuation in the end here. Moving on to the financials, we get updated quarterly and annual financial statements directly from the servicer and borrower. So the borrowers are required to submit their quarterly financials as a part of the loan disclosure documents. And we capture all of that and update it in real time. As you can see here, this property was 73% occupied a year ago, and then it moved up to 100%. Here's the base rent, $333K, about $1,100 a unit. Here are all the operating expenses. You have the real estate tax, You have the insurance, the utilities, repairs and maintenance, management fee, advertising, professional fees, any CapEx, and then at the very bottom, we have the DSCR here. So it's originated with a 1.21 DSCR. It dropped to below break even, and now it's still distressed at 0.67. So this is a great way to understand if a property is, a value add opportunity. Rents could be, 1,200 in this market, and they're only achieving 972. Good things to look at. Here's the summary level financials if you don't want to get into the details of it. Moving on to the comps. This is a mechanism that we've built that basically pulls in all of the surrounding properties around the subject property that you clicked on, and it ranks them based on relativity. Over here to the right, we rank them 0 to 10, 10 being the most comparable. And this will help you benchmark your market and understand the competitive set around your property that you're analyzing. This actually helps feed into the valuation model that I'll get into. The contacts tab, this is one of the topics. We go to great lengths to find out who the borrower, the sponsor, the owner of record, the entity name, that's the LLC, the LLC's address, and then the owner of record is the person who signed up for the LLC, and then we have their address. They're up to 2 emails for them, and then up to 4 phone numbers. So this is a great way to contact owners of properties. And then we also have the lender, the master servicer, Freddie Mac, the contact there, phone number. And then when a loan gets transferred to the special servicer, when it's seriously delinquent, we have contact information for them as well. And then backing it up, all of this information can be PDF'd in a quick little 8-page property report. And then this last tab has a lot of loan details from origination. We have the loan purpose, the borrower type, ownership, loan amounts, about 150 data points here. And then backing up into the valuation section, this is a discounted cash flow analysis where you would have the ability to change anything in green under MyQ. And it's actually starts out pre-filled using the most recent financial statement to save you time with your valuations. In the upper left here is a direct cap. That's pretty self-explanatory. It pulls in the most recent full year net cash flow of 105,000, and it applies this cap rate over here, and it arrives at a value of 2.1 million. If you really think the cap rate in this market is closer to 4.5 million, you can change that and you'll see the value go up. You have the current occupancy, the weighted average effective rent, any other income, parking, laundry, anything else, average annual rent growth. You have your market vacancy rate, and then your lease up terms. And we have this model built out for all the property types. This example obviously is a multifamily. And then down here is all your expense assumptions. And you have the ability to override any one of these 3 columns. You could type in the dollar per unit per month, the percent of revenue, or the full dollar amount. So if you really think management fees should be 4% of effective gross income, you could update that there. You're at 1.8 million. You might say that's pretty low for this market. I really think rents are closer to 1,200. Update that. Now it's 2.5 million. You can check on the details tab for all the cash flows. Again, we're completely transparent and interactive. You can see all the math behind this. And say you're happy with this valuation. We call it valuation 1. Hit finalize. And then you go into the reports tab. Hit download. Takes a little bit to generate. So here's our valuation report. It's a little 2-pager, 2.5 million. Blow that up a little bit. Here's the subject property information, the loan terms, your key assumptions. Oh, sorry, 1,200 in rent, parking income, average lease term, all of your expenses down here, and then all of your math behind your valuation, all the cash flows. And then that's basically everything for the loan level view of all these properties. If you wanted to do another search of, let's say, a retail property that has a Hobby Lobby. I don't know if you guys have them in Texas.
Yeah, we got them. We got
We
hobbies.
got 'em.
We got the Hobby Lobbies.
Okay, nice. So yeah, and then you could just search. So this means they definitely, all these properties definitely have a Hobby Lobby in them. And then quickly go through it. Click into a property. Has basically the same setup for each property type, but for the ones with tenants in them, multifamily, we don't get granular on the tenant side for privacy reasons, but we do it for retail and commercial property types. We have the top 5 tenants. So here's your Hobby Lobby, 56,000 square feet as their lease expiration date, the remaining lease term. All of our rent rolls are reviewed quarterly. This one was last updated in September. And this was a $19.5 million loan. Here's all the contact information, lender, special servicer, financials. This one has the base rent, expense reimbursements, real estate taxes. So yeah, with that, I'll let Mark McDevitt run through a valuation of a property that we might not have data on, and we'll show you how he would approach that. If Mark, can you grab the screen or?
Thanks, Mike. Happy to be here on Note Night in America. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. So yeah, as Mike alluded to and Shane mentioned earlier, the next question comes up is if you find a property or you have a property that's not in our database and you still want to do a valuation. We have this MyQ software that's available to our clients where they can do basically their own valuations using their inputs. So to access the MyQ software, you click the MyQ icon in the top right corner of the screen. And you can see here I already have a little bit of a portfolio of valuations that we've done in the past, and they can range from anything from a 9-unit multifamily property to a 1.3 million CBD office building. So this is my portfolio. So anytime you want a valuation, it automatically saves into your portfolio. But to start a new valuation, you just click this top right button here that says Start New Valuation. And it brings you basically to a blank screen. And to start out, you just have to fill in some normal property detail. So we'll start out with the name. If you have a name for a multifamily property, we can call it Carson Gardens. How's that sound?
I like it.
That'll work.
So yeah, building type, you can select any property type that we have here. Office, hotel, retail, self-storage, multifamily. We'll go with multifamily. Of course, Carson Gardens has to be a garden style type of multifamily complex. So we'll go and select garden style. Building size. So how many units does the property have? We come up with random number, 170 units. You have the option here to put when the property was built. We'll put Mike's birthday year, 1985. And submarket, this is an optional field, but you can put something in there. We'll say Northwest. Origination date. If you have the info, if you have the information for when the loan was originated that you're trying to underwrite, you can put that in there, but we can just put in today's date for now. And then next is the location. So if you start typing an address, some random numbers, it'll try and auto populate for you through our mapping API. So you can you type in an address there, and we'll take this one, kind of pre-selected this address for some multifamily property in San Antonio. Then you can see that the rest of the information kind of auto populates for you. City, state, zip code, county, and MSA. So those are the basic information. That's the basic information that you need to start. As soon as you fill in that information, you have other functionality that becomes available to you right away, which includes this comps tab. So if you click over this comps tab, since you put in the property type, the size, the loan origination date, and the location, our software automatically populates all the relevant comps in our database for you. So you can see we have about 25 comparable properties that you can use to help you aid in your underwriting. So if you want to look at comparable rents, comparable expenses, what are the property taxes for a property that's 2 miles away versus a property that's a half mile away, so on and so forth. And then at the end of the day, you can also compare value. So we have appraisal values in here. You can compare on a per unit basis. You can compare cap rates as well. And this comps tab can really help you fill out the rest of your assumptions. So we'll just go through those real quick. We'll say the property is 97% occupied, coming up with a market rent. We'll just say $785 or $800. Parking income, if the property has parking facilities and you charge for that, you can say $60 a unit per year. Same for laundry. If this property was constructed quite a while ago, then maybe the washer and dryer units aren't in unit. Maybe they're in the common area. But if it's a recent construction, then maybe the units have the washer and dryer in unit, so you don't get any revenue from that. But you can make that assumption. Other income, that's ancillary income. You can put in an assumption there. Your annual rent growth. So how much are you raising rents per year? We'll say 2% for now. And then your market vacancy rate. So typically we'd say San Antonio and primarily other common multifamily markets is around 2 to 3%. So we'll put in 2% for now. So we're doing a DCF analysis. So we're also going to have to put in some leasing assumptions. So average multifamily lease is 1 year. Lease up to stabilization. This is more for value add properties where you have low occupancy and you need to lease up the property over a number of years. But you can usually put in 2 to 3 years. We'll put in 2 years. Renovation costs is kind of similar. If you have value add opportunity where you need to lease up some vacant units, you want to add a one-time renovation cost to those vacant units, you can do that. Our default value is about $6,500 a unit. Renewal probability, if the tenant's staying or going at the end of the year, we'll say that's coin flip 50-50. And then our collection loss, we'll use standard 2.5%. Free rent, if you're feeling a little stingy, then you're not going to give any new tenants any concessions, so we'll put 0. We'll put 0 there for now. Scrolling back up, your DCF projection, we'll say it's 10 years. Terminal cap rate, For San Antonio, what are we thinking for a cap rate? Maybe 5% or so. And then we'll add a little cap rate expansion over the 10 years, so 5.3%. Our discount rate, based, it's usually based on each investor's personal requirements, but we'll give a little bit of a spread there and say 6.8%. And then at the end of 10 years, you have to pay the broker a 2% commission. And then this is where you kind of get into the nuts and bolts of the operations of the property. Going through the expenses, Mike mentioned you can enter expenses in 3 different options, on a dollar per unit basis, on a percent of revenue basis, if you just want to see everything kind of grossed up to 100% of your revenue or your EGI, or if you have the actual full dollar amounts, you can input that as well. So I'm just going to go through real quick and just put in some numbers here, and then we can see the result after we calculate the value. We'll put in to kind of switch it up for management fees. They're usually a 100% variable expense. So we'll put in 3% of revenue. So that's so that we can model it as a variable expense. Same as our CapEx, our replacement reserves. And the last assumption is just your average expense growth. I know with inflation and high gear, that can be, might be a little bit higher, but we'll go with 2.5%. So we have all our assumptions all input in there. You go up to the top right here, you click calculate, and you come out to a value of 13.4 million, or about 78,000 per unit. So all our San Antonio multifamily experts out there, you can tell us if that's in the ballpark of what a property would look like. But as soon as you have the value, you can check the individual cash flows on a year-by-year basis by clicking the detail tab. Goes through years 1 through 10. You can follow the occupancy, individual line items with revenue, expenses, all the way down to your net cash flow at the bottom here. And then you have their same functionality that you would if you found a property through our normal search. You can generate a property report here that would show you the value, all your assumptions, and your individual net cash flows. So what do you think? Carson Gardens for 13.4 million.
I like it.
So once you're all set, you can name your property up here, Carson Gardens. Finalize. And then once you go back to your MyQ portfolio, you can search for it here. Let's see if we can find it. Carson Gardens. So if you want to come back to it, another day, a week or two later, just come back, log on, pull it up, and then you have all your assumptions there. And then, if you need to make some adjustments, you can do that and then save another version of the property. So, we have, our normal functionality allows you the ability to overlay your own assumptions on every loan in our database. But, with this MyQ functionality, you have the ability to create a custom valuation for yourself just by inputting some streamlined valuation inputs. So
love it, guys.
So I think on the itinerary, we promised that we look into the top 15 or the 15 hottest markets for multifamily. So if you give me a second, I'll pull up a chart here. And Mike and Shane mentioned our analysts do a lot of research. Our analysts do a lot of research, keeping track of loan originations and types of deals that are getting done on the market. And And right now we're working on a review of 2021 loan originations and in particular multifamily originations. Since multifamily really led the charge last year. After a little bit of a down year in terms of performance in 2020, multifamily really picked up in terms of commercial real estate in 2021. Final estimates or the final tally isn't in yet, but it was close to almost 400 billion in loan originations last year for multifamily properties. So, where we want to help clients is finding out where those deals are getting done. And, obviously you have your gateway markets like New York and LA, which, lead almost every year in total origination volume. But we want to take a little bit of a different approach, and we wanted to adjust our focus to, secondary and tertiary markets. So these are the markets that might not get as much attention, but they definitely deserve it from our perspective, since these are markets that might show higher growth potential. So yeah, pulled up the chart here. You have the top 15 secondary markets for multifamily originations in 2021, and again, these are excluding primary markets like Dallas. Sorry, Shane, but or Fort Worth or Houston or Chicago or Atlanta. But looking here on the chart, you can see that Columbus, Ohio took the pole position. The blue bar is total origination volume in terms of dollar amounts, and then the green line is the total number of deals or total number of loans that were originated. So the green line is highest at Columbus, Ohio, with almost 100 deals on our database that were originated last year in the Columbus, Ohio multifamily market. So you can see, Columbus took the pole position, but right next to Columbus is San Antonio, with almost twice as much, or actually more than twice as much origination volume, with nearly 2.5 billion in loan originations that we tracked last year. So that comes out to almost 30 million per loan origination. So some pretty hefty deals we got done in the San Antonio market last year. And going through the rest of the top 10, you have Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Tampa, Riverside, California, Virginia Beach. Oklahoma City actually came in second in total origination volume. So some fairly large deals were got done in Oklahoma City last year. And then you have Tucson and Vegas rounding out the top 10. One thing that we did want to point out is if you look to the far right of the chart, probably second to last, you'll see non-metro Texas. So this was kind of a surprise to us. We track about a little bit over 20 MSAs within the state of Texas. So anything that falls within the non-metro bucket are properties and locations that don't fall within the boundaries of our traditional Texas MSAs. So we did see a lot of volume in loan originations in rural Texas markets last year. So this just goes to show that some opportunities can definitely be found outside your traditional places where you might look. And we did do a little bit of a deep dive, and it looked like a decent portion of the volume from that non-metro Texas bucket came from Granbury, Texas, which I guess is about an hour outside of Fort Worth. So there you have it, our top 15 secondary markets for multifamily loan originations in the past year.
Wow, that's awesome, guys. So somebody texted me and wondered what kind of voodoo do you have to do to get all this insider information as far as borrowers and sponsors? Do you just have like a team of VAs just scrubbing every loan you can find out there for the most part, or there's something that you guys tap into?
Yeah, a lot of our information comes right from the servicers, from the loan documents,
Mhm.
and then we go an extra step And we have a team that's constantly looking at new borrowers. If there's a loan assumption, we'll update their contact info. It's a tough task, and we have a lot of people constantly looking at it. And then we have a great technology that updates it very quickly.
Yeah, this is really cool because there's things on here that may not initially pop up, but like when you guys showed sponsors, being able who's a person signing, that's a huge thing to have. If you know the sponsors of all the big apartment deals in here, if you're looking to do apartment in San Antonio, you know what I mean, or wherever, that's huge.
Yeah, we actually have some clients that want to take our contact information and the loan amounts, the property details, and upload it into their CRM or their Salesforce so they can manage their pipeline and, be out in front of these maturity dates.
Right. Now, with everything that's gone on the last 2 years, besides the top markets for 50, has there been anything else that surprised you as far as some of the different the different asset classes that are really booming, like self-storage booming up? Or you seen a big increase in hotels struggling or being, modified or tweaked in a lot of cases out there to get back on track?
Yeah, as soon as the pandemic hit, hotels were first to feel the brunt of it, and we run a market delinquency report every month, and the hotel delinquency rates are around like mid 20%. They've actually come down. I think, Mark, what is it now, like 15% since their peak?
There's definitely been some recovery, but it's the delinquency rate amongst hotels is certainly still elevated.
You're right. Okay, definitely. Wow, good stuff. Questions. Now's the time to type in your questions. We got a few folks on here that are watching here on YouTube at the same time. So they love the site. And then the magic number. Okay, what's this going to cost? Does it cost me an arm and a leg to do? Shane's laughing over there, but how are people able to take advantage of your product here, guys?
Yeah. So Mike, you want to put up our promo code slide?
Yes, sure thing.
So first of all, before we get into that, again, thanks to Scott and his team for allowing us the time tonight. We've really enjoyed presenting for everybody. And what we've done is created a promo code on our site that offers a pretty significant discount. We've done 10% before. I think since I've been on board, we've done 15 here and there. We've never done 25. So this is a pretty special offer for Scott's audience. The discount code on our website is all one word. We close notes, and that will automatically build in a 25% discount off of our annual subscriptions. We're priced on a per seat basis at $395 a month. So without the discount, annually it's about $4,700, and then with the promo code, it's going to knock off about $1,200 from that. The vast majority of our clients subscribe to the Ultra version of our subscription, and that's really the main reason for that is because they're getting the actual borrower and sponsor's name, the contact info that Mike talked about on his portion, and the emails and phone numbers. So that's really important. And then a lot more exports are allowed with the Ultra. It's $500 a month compared to a very small amount on the standard. So the Ultra is really the way to go for the 99% of our clients.
Yeah, I mean, that's being able to export it and pull that information. But I mean, that's ridiculously cheap, on a $395 month basis, being able to tap in to knowing so much stuff, not only information in your market, but other markets on the distress side of things. Now, is there a minimum loan amount or minimum property size that you guys see where your reporting kind of cuts off or where it kind of increases that?
Yeah, our smallest property is probably a 4-unit multifamily, and it'll go down to about 200,000 for the smallest. And then we'll have, the Bellagio for $2 billion. So it really runs a wide spread.
Well, but that's beautiful. Even on that, I'm glad you brought that up because there's a lot of people start thinking, and we all know that the bank's books are clogged up with, that sub 5 million and balance stuff and that small commercial stuff. But here's a huge opportunity to tap into it without having to do a lot of the heavy lifting. You guys have gone out there, scrubbed that data, and been able to give people a magnifying glass, and literally a X here marks the spot for you to start digging, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Good stuff. What questions you guys have as well on here we're watching tonight? I'm sure we got some folks that are kind of blown away here. I got a message here, blown away. Apartments. Somebody asked why they thought Oklahoma City did so well. And the big thing is that is you have a lot of people invested in Dallas that didn't want to pay Dallas prices that went to Oklahoma City and bought a lot of stuff there, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Mark, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that, but I was talking to a guy earlier this week who's looking for apartments in the Metroplex, the North Texas, and that was one of the markets that he's kind of focused on. It's, you know, it's definitely a secondary market, but it's still a pretty big MSA when it comes to, you know, this part of the country. So I think there's a lot of value in some of those secondary and tertiary markets, you know, getting outside some of the Dallas and Houstons and, you know, Philadelphia's of the world for sure.
Yeah, and I think if you're within an hour of it, if you've got boots on the ground or can put people in there, yeah, I think it's definitely worth going outside a little bit. Like you said, Mark, you were surprised that rural Texas still has a lot of stuff there. Granbury's in the path of progress. You look at you probably had a lot of stuff down in the valley too that's in the path of progress, and some of these other. I mean, everybody needs places to live, and affordable housing is still one of those things that is needed by everybody, right?
Yeah, I think if you added back in all the primary markets, Dallas would be like number 3. So you know, there's a lot of competition, and yeah, like you know, sometimes it pays to venture out and find deals a little farther out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about living in Texas. We're only a 2-hour Southwest flight from like 80% of the country. And these things are able to allow for you to do a lot of the upfront work versus having to jump on a plane to go take a look at it. So Stephen asked a question: are mobile home parks and or vacant property zoned for multifamily included in your database by any chance?
Yeah, the mobile home would be under manufactured housing. And well, vacant land. No, we don't have vacant land. We do have land, but that's really under a land lease in a central business district under like a skyscraper. So yeah, we have quite a bit of manufactured housing, about 5,600 properties.
Wow, well, that's huge. 5,600 manufactured RV park. These are mostly RV parks, I'd be willing to bet, not individual properties, right?
Yeah, these are like parks.
Yeah, look at that. That's a hot asset class. What about,
Yeah.
I mean, and being able to pull that stuff there, woo, that's pretty good. And then what are you guys seeing? Can you do a quick search there for, let's do a multifamily at 10 units or greater, just to get a rough number.
Multifam.
Yeah, 10 units or greater.
It's a lot.
So what is that?
741 times 100.
Oh my God. All right, let's take it.
I'm not a math major. What is that?
Well, that's 7,400 basically. So let's do the 10 to the 100 size, because I think that's where that's the questions I get all day long from people. Hey, I'm looking to buy distressed commercial apartment loans at under 100 units. And I'm like, okay, so is everybody and their dog, but that's still 3,100 of them across the country. Wow. That's crazy. That's freaking awesome, guys.
Yeah, we have a ton of, I think, 4 units. And
oh, yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
4 to, let's say, 20. There's a lot there. 133, yeah, 10,000.
1,500.
Wow, so those are still popping up under Freddie and Franny, or what's the primary reporting for those? I wouldn't think that well, you see a lot in California there, but what's the that doesn't surprise me in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, this is a 6 unit. I mean, this is back to this list. This is 133 pages times 100. So that's 130,000, I think.
Yeah. Wow. So Dimitri asked you questions. So these notes have cash flow as soon as you buy. Yeah, basically, you can see what the rent rates are coming in on these things. You can see, what kind of rent rates you're getting in occupancy. So it gives you a bit of an idea. Plus showing how far distressed the asset is as well, too. Right, guys?
Yep.
Wow.
It'll show you when it started missing payments. We have that full loan history of payment history.
Wow, that's the thing.
And then,
Yeah.
Mike, we also had a question from Richard on the valuation piece where it said coming soon. That's going to be the base case dark scenarios, right?
Yeah, that's more geared towards our CMBS investor side clients, where our team of analysts are valuing the properties, so they have an actual third party opinion of the value as they go and look at it and analyze it. Right now, a lot of our properties are automatically valued based on the most recent financial statement that's pulled in, but you always have the most recent appraised values too. That helps you benchmark it.
Wow. This is phenomenal. This is really cool stuff. So Richard asked, where does the rent info come from? Is that bar reporter or a third-party servicer?
The rent comes from the borrower's operating statements, and then it's divided by the number of units and the most recent occupancy reported. So you back into the weighted average effective rent.
Okay. Yeah. It may not be exactly accurate because when you've got 2 2s or 1 1s, but you're getting an average per unit door. So you kind of know the blend then for you, right, Mike?
Yeah, we don't have the full rent roll for all tenants.
Right. So Dimitri asks, how is buying a commercial note for multifamily different from buying single family? Well, the one thing and the biggest missing piece that we just discussed there is oftentimes when you're buying commercial notes, you may not get the rent rolls or the rent rates, and you've got to be really what I like to say Sherlock Holmes to go out and find a lot of the stuff. This is why we brought these guys on here tonight, because this is freaking awesome here, and the fact that they provide a lot of stuff to help you highlight, to locate these things. Because look, you're pulling. I mean, every county, every state in the country is different in how they report their distressed, their list pendants or their notice of defaults and stuff like that. And in some states, they don't report the notice of defaults like they do in other places. But this literally takes a lot of the work out of finding commercial deals because they're all right here for you, versus on the residential side, hey, you still got to reach out to banks. You still got to see what's available. Banks are a lot more lenient, I will tell you this, on moving their commercial debt than they are on their residential debt, because you got to realize these aren't going to be government backed like Freddie and Franny do on the residential stuff. They're not going to be insured. These are all, that's why they're financed at 60, 70 cents on the dollar. And then you've got people bringing 20, 30% down. They're not government back insured. And so that's why you see a lot of these things hitting the hot list, or the, what did you guys call it? The special list. Yes, the watch list. Yeah. That's it. I call it the watch list, because they want to get on top of these as much as possible to avoid the defaults. Because the minute you start having your rents go down, your cap rate goes down, hence the value of that property goes down. And lenders do not want to see that at all, right, guys?
Yeah, this one, I just clicked into an example. It had a foreclosure sale not too long ago, and then an REO auction took place in November. So the property's under contract. So These banks, they actually have to get rid of it.
Yep. And that's not a surprise when you see Fairfield Inn. They've been hit hard, haven't they?
Yep.
Wow. But that's we've got a couple students have taken some of the smaller, maybe not, I don't know if they're flagged or not. I think they're unflagged, but taking some of the 50, 60 unit hotels that are unflagged that have really struggled because they didn't have the marketing behind them, but some of these flags do, but gone and then working to convert them into multifamily or, short-term housing, work with the homeless communities, stuff like that in cities. So yeah, look at that. Fairfield. Keyword. That's awesome. What other, we got some more questions here in the chat roll here. Does this track property tax delinquencies or tax sale properties as well?
A lot of the properties, they escrow their taxes. So if it's really tracking their actual loan payment. So not specifically property taxes.
Right.
And
but that's an easy thing though, to jump on the county to check and see if they're on time or behind too as well with that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if it's escrow, they're not. How to pitch this to investors? Well, this is, I mean, you go find a deal and talk about that you got a deal, and you're reaching out and talking with these individuals and trying to figure out exactly what they'll take. That's a great opportunity and an upside to come in. I mean, multifamily, self-storage, even hospitality stuff, hotels, all that stuff. You got a deal. There's a lot of people out there that will gobble that stuff up. You don't need to see as big a discount, especially as an undermanaged property like you do in residential, because it's just, as you saw when Mike and Mark were both adjusting numbers there a little bit, you saw how dramatically a little bit of an increase in rent across the whole property can really impact the value of the property to give it a lot of upside for things. So just it all comes down to finding the deals first. And here you go, guys. Here's literally your cheat sheet, your cheat codes for you gamers out there, how to find all the distressed stuff in your county and in your state or anywhere in the country for you, for the most part. It's monthly, right, guys? It's $395 a month for a year. Is that correct there?
The monthly price is actually higher. It's $495, but the annual is $395. So pulling it back here, where is it? So if you this is quoted at the annual level.
Okay.
But if you wanted to do it monthly, it would be $495.
It's still, all you need is one deal to pay for the whole thing for the whole year, for several years on that there. There you go. Good job. And then of course is it 25% off that price? Yeah,
it's 25% off whatever you decide.
There you go. With the code WeCloseNotes. Love it. We gotta have a lot of Carson Garden apartment complexes.
Yeah, that's gonna sell to 3 cap.
Well, hey, people in California slice their grandmother for a 2 cap, so 3 cap. You see the article? There was an article this last week about a condemned property in San Francisco that sold for like $2.4 million at an auction, and it should have been condemned and stripped down. But California folks will overpay all day long for a 4 cap. But this is great stuff there, guys. So the link, guys, for you to get signed up for you is really easy. Cred-IQ.com. Hit the subscribe button or /subscribe. They'll take it over there and get rocking and rolling with this, guys. This is such a great tool to add literally turbocharge your commercial note business and take things a whole different level, and cash and checks instead with one column with multiple commas in it versus one comma in it, right?
All right.
Cool. Let me see if we got any other questions here online from folks that were watching on YouTube. Looking forward to this, guys. I mean, guys, this has been awesome, man. You guys have done an amazing job with this software, and the feasibility of it, working through it, just very, very simple. I mean, it's a lot of information, but so much valuable information. You make it easy to read. Kudos to what you've done here, man.
Yeah,
no, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Scott. And in closing, I think there's kind of 3 ways that we kind of set ourselves apart as far as providing value to our clients. Really, I think our solutions are more affordable than a lot of others. I think our solution is more interactive than others, as we recall from seeing Mike and Mark on the valuation piece, where they're changing assumptions to change values. And maybe most importantly, I think our platform is more objective than others. All of us at Cred IQ really place our reputations on the line every single day to vouch for that objectivity. That's very important to us. We're passionate about it. And that's the value we provide to our clients. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to your audience about the value we bring to our clients. And I would love to partner with your folks and get them the data they need to make some money.
Yeah, amen to that, guys. You kudos to you. We got to give you the as we like to say, the standing applause here.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I'm really excited you guys are on here first. I've got a few other referrals for some of my folks in the multifamily business, in the self-storage business, that I'll be making some intros to you here tomorrow as well. But thank you so much for coming on Note Night in America, sharing this, and just giving one hell of a discount, guys. Just absolutely good. Looking forward to this, and we're going to be in touch and some other stuff here as well too. All right, guys.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks so much for having us, Scott.
Hey, thanks, guys. Be safe. And everybody on here, if you guys are diving in, looking to get into commercial, whether you've got a specific asset class you're looking to dive in, that's a phenomenal tool. And The 25% discount blown away. You guys should take advantage of that tonight. You will not be disappointed. You get signed up for that. I will actually literally walk you through some of the ways that you can use it in your note business to take your whole note business to the next level. So get signed up for it. Cred-IQ.com/subscribe. And link is in the chat roll. Go out, take action, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you all at the top, everybody. Thanks, guys. Be safe.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, guys. Bye. That was good. Guys, I got some a couple lists coming to you tomorrow on some other people that you will love talking to as well. All right, guys.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks, Scott. That was great.
Thanks, guys. Be safe, y'all. Stay warm.